Good morning, this is Ishwara. Hi, how are you? Today we're going to look at the retention of breath in Pranayama, the Kumbhaka. When we hold the breath, the yogis said that we hold the mind still. So when we restrain the breath, the mind is restrained. Why is that important? Because the goal of yoga is to restrain the mind. Why should we restrain the mind? Because Eastern thought and Western studies show that an overactive mind, a mind that's always thinking, creates stress in the whole physical organism. And stress shortens the life and creates disease. Creates high blood pressure, etc., etc. We all know of those sorts of studies. So we want to, in yoga, with a few things that we should be working towards. One is to be thinking less. So to that end, we should be practicing, first of all, the diet should be good, healthy, plant-based probably. The sleep should be regular. We should have a regularity in our life within which we can work, we can play, and in that schedule we should make sure we're doing some exercise, some physical exercise, some cardio exercise, some fun stuff, some sport. If we like to play with others, the sport you can do on your own. But cardio exercise, strength-based exercise, calisthenics, and yoga postures, and yoga pranayama, and meditation. All of these strengthen the organism, strengthen the heart, the circulation, and strengthen the muscles in the body to support the skeleton, so the skeleton can move correctly, so there's freedom in the body. Ultimately, if there's freedom in the body, there's freedom in the mind, and when there's freedom in the mind, we can be creative and intelligent, we can be spontaneous, we can think and act outside of old restraints, cultural, social restraints. When we're free in our mind, we can be whoever we want to be. And so, in a sense, the goal of yoga is to be happy, to be loving, and to think freely and creatively. So, the Kumbhaka in Pranayama, so Pranayama we're doing every day, some breath work and Pranayama, two slightly different activities, but in Pranayama, for intermediate practitioners and advanced practitioners, we restrain the breath. We can restrain the breath on the out breath, which is called Bahya Kumbhaka, and we can restrain the breath on the in breath, i.e. we take a full breath, we fill the lungs, then we hold the breath, and that's called Antiya Kumbhaka. And when we engage, when we hold the breath inside, it's safer to engage the bandhas. So it's not just safer, it's traditional practice. Various reasons for this, and I'll go into that in the next session. But I want to show you the practice of taking a deep breath, holding the breath, and what the bandhas look like. Jalandhara bandha is the throat lock, Mula bandha is the root lock, Mula bandha is the contraction of the perineum, not necessarily the contraction of the anus or the urethra, although if these do engage, that's fine when you're beginning, but after a little while, for more advanced practitioners, with practice, you may be able to feel the perineal contraction exclusively, and that's what we want. For those who practice Ashtanga Vinyasa, you're probably, if you're practicing Mysore, you're engaging Mula bandha through the practice, and you'll have a much stronger sense of Mula bandha than someone who only occasionally engages and practices Mula bandha. But when we hold the breath inside, when we practice Antiya Kumbhaka, the held breath with the breath inside, we hold two locks. Mula bandha, the root, the perineum. Jalandhara bandha, shouldn't use that gesture, but Jalandhara bandha, which is the throat lock. So let me show you what that looks like in practice. I'll take a couple of deep breaths and then take one more full in breath, hold the breath and engage Mula bandha, and then engage Jalandhara Bandha. I'll show you what that looks like. Then I'll release Jalandhara and I'll release the root lock Mula Bandha. You'll find that when you practice pranayama daily and when you practice the Kumbhaka alongside the pranayama as part of that practice, and if you're new to pranayama, I'll be doing a series of videos to demonstrate practice and how we practice and what we should be looking for, what things we should try and cultivate. You'll find that your mind becomes very, very relaxed, very alert and very relaxed. By alert, I don't mean moving around in a state of activity. Alert in that the senses are acute. Sounds, the senses, smells, the senses are, there's consciousness there, and the consciousness is fully alert. But it's in a state of relaxation. So relaxed awareness is the state that we cultivate through pranayama. So that was a small practice of the retention of breath with the bandhas. Thank you.